So hello there. I just want to make a quick video. I won't keep it for long. I don't know. Maybe about 10 minutes or so. And I know most of my subscribers, they tune in for the conspiracy theories. And this time, this is a video about the Fallout game again. And I know, maybe you're not into video games, but the timeline in this game pretty much follows our timeline. So here I am with my character, my RPG roll 'em up digital template, and in this Fallout 4 game, as the title of the video suggests, looking into what happened at the end of the TV show. Basically, to take a look, we have to look at what happened at the end of Fallout 4, and even what happened at the end of Fallout New Vegas, of course, because at the end of the TV show, it ends at with Hank heading towards New Vegas. So, how are we going to look at the borders of the NCR from all the way in the Commonwealth? Well, teleporters. Which gets me thinking about teleporters. The funny thing about teleporters, even like in Star Trek, Kirk and Spock, every time they transported, technically they're destroying their bodies on one end and reconstructing them on the other. So essentially, technically, they're like photonic clones, and the original them is dead. So every time Kirk and Spock transported, they like killed themselves hundreds of times, maybe? I don't know. But as far as teleportation in this game, with a few mods and a few techs cannibalizing and back engineering this Institute teleporter, you can go straight from the Commonwealth right to Las Vegas. Although I'm going to avoid Las Vegas because, well, it's gross. In my last video about this, I talk about how I'd like to see a mod where they rip down the Gomorrah and you build a hospital. And I don't know who that chick is there, but whatever. Running through my sanctuary settlement before we go find the NCR border and talk about what happened at the end of the TV show. I'm just going to grab my power armor here. It's hard for me to choose between Brotherhood and Enclave, in which case I got two more questions to ask. Why is the Enclave so strong in the TV show, doing those experiments? Not to mention that doctor, is he a psyker? With everything he knows about Lucy? And his 11 luck to dodge machine guns? But speaking of dog meat, there's my little floppy-eared Sammy. Sammy? But yeah, my sanctuary base aside here, now that I got my power armor, I can teleport to the Mojave Wasteland, and we can find out what happened to the NCR, because a lot of people are pretty pissed off about the show. I mean, some of it was just ridiculous. The dialogue, I mean, exploding, popping pimples of weirdness like a religious institute like the Brotherhood, like Mormons, or like the Amish, the Illuminamish. Like they wouldn't know what sex is, what the birthing process is, and all that is. Life in general, family life, having kids. But the dialogue and the romances aside, or even like as we say goodbye to the Commonwealth here, talking about this show, I see Preston Garvey there. Preston's hilarious. He's like the Jar Jar Binks of the Fallout universe. Say hello, Jar Jar Garvey. Now say goodbye, because here we go into the teleporter. So yeah, the big questions obviously are, why was Hank going to see Mr. House at the end of the TV show? What happened to Mr. House? His coma, then Benny betraying him after he reestablished Vegas the way it was in the game. And even at that, the end of the TV show, was Vegas sacked? It kind of looks sacked. Crimson Caravan, the airport, McCarran, it all seems Gandhi Nahasapetapitalan. Which also begs the question, was Hank Enclave, or is Hank Enclave? He knew how to use power armor. How do you get training to use power armor? Like, he didn't have any apparent Enclave connections in the show, but then again, in the show, there's that Enclave guy up in the VIP suite there when the corporate board meeting at the end of in the last episode is going on, where the proud black female boss of Vault-Tec ends up retconning the history of who dropped the bombs. Funny how in the TV show here that they never once mentioned that China dropped the bombs. They were losing in Alaska. America was pushing into China, and so they got scared and they nuked first, or whatever. There was a theory that Vault-Tec nuked first, but to completely retcon it pissed a lot of people off, I think. And so all that aside, where's Mr. House? And for that matter, what happened to the Brotherhood that was in the Mojave, or the Enclave? Because if the Brotherhood from the TV show, what the one cleric said, that basically they won out against the Institute, the Commonwealth is theirs, that means there's only one ending to Fallout 4. The railroad has to go. The railroad has to go. And they're an insult to history, the idea that talking toasters, organic robotoids, copies, synthetics, for that game to even compare your railroad to the actual railroad that freed real human slaves is an insult. But I mean, like, with the Brotherhood winning, that means only the Minutemen could have survived. You kind of hear some Minutemen music at one point. But yeah, so if the Pridwin, or was it the Castronaut? Was it the Pridwin or the Castronaut? But either way, the airship comes back to the Mojave, to Las Vegas, to the Boneyard, to where Shady Sands is apparently moved on the map. Yeah, moved on the map. Okay, so after all that, and the TV show happens, and the nonsensical bit with the blood cult, the fetch quests, and the ghouls, sometimes dying and sometimes not. And so the big question is, of course, the chalkboard at the end of the TV show, where the timeline states that basically the same day as the first battle of the Hoover Dam was the beginning of the end of the NCR, apparently. Some speculate the dollar, whatever. Or that at the end of the second battle, sometime after that, Shady Sands, which again is on a different location on the map, gets nuked, and now it's Gandhi Nahasa Petapedalon, as I said before. But then also, so the next 5 years, I guess, the retconning ghouls, they can sleep in their graves. The main character there, the villain, cannibal-ass goblin, whatever his name is, I can't remember, he wakes up, he meets Lucy, and they go on their little adventure to stop the commie, whatever her name is. And then what? Hank gets jealous and nukes the whole town, which again is in the wrong place on the map. Which also begs the question, why didn't the Master find Vault 33, which is what? The Masonic Vault for their VIPs? I don't know. And then don't get me started also on the changes to the power armor. I don't know about that voice thing. And the Iron Man hand jets. Where's the jetpacks? And that scene where they could just shoot through the chest, whatever, willy-nilly, if you knew where the spot was, and kill a guy instantly in power armor. Just so much dumb things in the show that just kind of drove me to drink, and I hope aren't in season 2. The stim packs was sometimes used neat, and other times was just insane. And like I've said in my other previous videos, I'm not a big fan of the gore or whatnot, but I mean, that's the thing about Fallout New Vegas and most of these games. It's about choice. You can play a pacifist run, or you can play as a brutal, like, monster if you want. I don't know. That's not really my thing anymore. I'm trying to do the Jesus thing these days. I'd even like to write my own storyline game mod revolving around tracking down rare Bibles or something. But yeah, the big questions. What happened to the NCR? Where's Mr. House? What's with that ending? What's with the Vault-Tec retcon? What's with the ghouls? Pridwin or Castronaut? Everything else. Where's the courier? And then also there's the speculation that a lot of people think they nuked all this timeline because they're jealous of the success of New Vegas, that it's the best of the games. That the storyline-wise, especially when you mod it out and you put in the bounties quest line and all the extra quest lines, it's without a doubt the most choice-involved game I've ever played. One of the other ones like this that I've played and also made by Obsidian, was Knights of the Old Republic 2. But yeah, so I don't know. At the end of the day, I had to say thumbs down for the TV show, because there was more bunk than beauty.
Patrolling the Mojave makes you wish.
And I just don't know. I don't know. I would have liked to see maybe Ron Perlman play the courier or something. But, I mean, the Vault 33 thing, right away, that just ruined it for me. And so, I mean, at that, I've asked all the questions I wanted to ask.
You want to purchase.
And we'll see if this video isn't even censored by the YouTube Skynet algorithm. Until Season 2 hits the airwaves, I can't see much more to speculate about. So, yeah, that's it for my video, I guess. And I'll just say peace out, baby.